Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is day 18 of 21 Days Anti-Aging Protocol to awaken your inner lioness. And like I do every day, people take a minute or two or a couple more minutes to come in. I'm going to ask you to share something with me that was valuable this week for you, or the duration of the training for the last few weeks. So we are going into the last little bit of training, and it's going to be 3 more days. On Monday, we're going to have a live on Zoom, and I invite you to participate if you're able to come live. I will put it in the group for a few days as a replay. But the whole idea of going live in Zoom is that you can join me, you can ask your questions, you can participate, you can do all the things that allow you to communicate with me directly and pick my brain with things that you might be interested. Let me make sure I'm loud and clear here. Yes, you can hear me. And I'm going to share the link in the group. Share with me where you're tuning in from. Share with me something of value you got. And we'll go live. Today we're talking about prosperity, very important topic. And so I'm looking forward to share what I got for you guys today. Let me finish posting this here. Hopefully it will let me pin it to the top. I think that by now we figured out where to find it. If it doesn't let me pin it to the top, you just refresh the screen and it should be able to let you see it. Yeah, for some reason it's not letting me pin it to the top, but I always hope that you guys are going to be able to find it from the group itself. So I'll trust that whoever wants to find it will go to the group and push refresh. Ooh, my phone went flying. All kinds of things going on. So officially welcome back to day 18 of 21 days. I am so excited to be here with you guys and being able to share the material I have for you today. We're tying it with a golden nut, and that is all about looking at the link with health and prosperity. When we are tied to take care of ourselves because we have a condition, we have a diagnosis, we have a situation we're managing, we're not feeling well, we have no energy, we have some chronic condition that is always there, affecting how we feel throughout abundance to be able to fulfill your purpose. Why? Because your attention keeps on being driven back to health and self care. And what can you do to eliminate the issue of not feeling well and not having energy? At times, that's the issue. We have no energy. We absolutely have nothing left at the end of the day. And days start and days finish, and we're always burned out, on the verge of burnout, exhausted, and that is not the way to live. And so, what we've been talking about is all the things that will impact your levels of energy and minimizing the effects of getting older and all the things related with hormones, the impact that it has on your health, especially when you go into perimenopause. Many times women don't realize that that's what's bothering them. We go to menopause, and then we have all these side effects, all the things that pop up: fat, sleep, irritation, foggy brain, belly fat, low libido, many other things that pop up. Then we don't know exactly what's going on, and we kind of get confused, overwhelmed, irritated, frustrated. Doctors many times cannot tell us exactly what to do. And it was a long journey for me to find balance again. It took me since November of last year. We're now in July, about 8 months of going through the testing and talking and figuring it out how I feel, because all or characteristics of what you're dealing with. And so, although they do the blood exam and you get to see what's going on with those, not necessarily in there will they say anything in relationship with what you need in order to take care of your hormones and balancing them. It's more about the side effects and the characteristics. Sometimes we have hot flashes, sometimes we have bad sleep, sometimes we have irritability or more belly fat, or all the things that can come up are symptoms that doctors and practitioners address based on the symptoms, and they give us the hormones And it's kind of like tuning a guitar. A little bit more of this. How do you feel? A little bit more of that. How do you feel? A little bit less of this. How do you feel? But we've been talking about also what happens with middle age and how after 40 we tend to have more belly fat and how the hormones are linked with all that impact. And then we're tying the knot, we're starting to tie the knot with the finishing up touches of the training. And now we're going to link it with our capacity to create prosperity. This is kind of a little bit of a woo subject because we're linking well being with feeling worthy and being able to receive, expect things to happen, good things to happen, receiving, allowing abundance, and having the mindset that looks forward to things versus the gloom and doom kind of negativity, fear, uncertainty, and all the things that make us go into survival mode and bring us to our conditioned stuff. We want to leave our life from faith, whatever your faith is. I'm hoping I'm reaching people and women from many different backgrounds and faiths, and or that you do express your spirituality in some other sort of way, connecting with nature or other things, whatever you believe in, but having faith that things are going to get better, having faith that you have the capacity to improve and to change, transform things in your life. And this tying in of the knot of all the topics that we're talking about in these 21 days is going to be how would it look like when you are energized, when you feel in balance, when you feel rested, when you feel inspired, when you feel strong, when you feel courageous, all the things that the inner lions will bring, which is all this power and strength and beauty and courage and all this unstoppability. How would it look like for you to go at that time after fulfilling your purpose and creating abundance? Because when we align with our purpose, when we do what we're meant to do, we are going into a sense of flow. And when we go into a sense of flow, abundance can flow just like the state is talking about. And so we want to allow the abundance in, but it's a function of us really finding what our purpose is. What am I meant to do? What brings me joy? What do I feel like it comes natural? What do I do that when I talk to people or interact with certain family members, friends, whoever, they give me the feedback that I'm good at understanding, giving feedback, supporting, whatever it is, right? And finding what our gifts are. What are the things that we're meant to share with the world that are related with our purpose and that are going to be ultimately our legacy in life? And how that relationship, that alignment with that purpose will bring about the abundance because you stop the friction, you stop the survival mode, you stop the grinding, you stop the fight or flight, you stop all the forcing outcomes when we are doing something that is not meant to be what we want to do, that is not aligned with our purpose, then the prosperity can kind of sometimes slow down or it doesn't flow are doing a lot, working hard for a little return. But magic things happen when we align with our purpose, when we do what we're meant to do, when we open up our heart to be able to receive, we feel worthy, and all the things that we're going to talk about today are linked with that. And we take into account that we already dealt with several of the topics from health, and our health is somewhat balanced. Our nervous system is regulated. Mind, body, and soul can come together to now fulfill our purpose. And so I'm going to share with you a few of the points that we have for today. We're also going to go into an affirmation. And then finally, we're going to do a simple homework. For the ones that are still catching up, replays, there's no rush. I'm going to give a few more days after the end of the training on Monday for you guys to go over whatever you missed. So I don't want you to stress, but I do encourage you to continue going because it's 21 days and every training is somewhere between 20 minutes and 45 depending on the day. And there's the homework, which is the most important part because it's all about you taking action, moving forward, getting unstuck, getting inspired, gaining momentum, all the things that we want from this particular training. And then after that, you have gotten started, then hopefully you can get some support and really make yourself a priority so that you can follow through with the commitment we started in this 21 days. This is supposed to be kind of like get the gear moving get inspired again, create a plan, and all those things so that we get moving. And then there's going to be a longer road of transformation. As we know, it's not overnight, and where you're going to have to kind of push through with discipline, consistency, commitment, so that you can actually accomplish the goal. I see there's one person live there, but I didn't get to say hi. So thank you for being there. It's Friday night here where we are. Might be a recording that you come across later on, but it's Friday night at 8 p.m. So if you're here, I acknowledge you for being here. For the ones catching the replay, tell me where you're tuning in from and share with me a couple of things. Interact with me in the video so I'm not just talking about myself here. So the first topic for today in relationship with prosperity, the prosperity connection, is going to be investing in your health first. I work with a lot of women and I've been working with people of all ages, but most of my clientele, and I even manage a facility as a fitness director that was all women. And so I always deal with this guilt, mommy guilt, shame for really taking care of ourselves, making ourselves a priority. It feels off. It feels kind of like selfish or wrong. It shouldn't be. All these limited beliefs, all these fears, all this shame that comes across when women, especially if they're moms or if they're married and moms, double whammy, they feel like they have to always be available for their family, for the kids, for the significant other, for the obligations and responsibilities of the house. And many times what happens is we end up falling out of the self-care routine, and then we end up getting exhausted and then run down, and then we go on the verge of burnout, and then we completely collapse. And many times we go into full mode burnout, and it's really hard to recover from that when you are in that place. If you add to that poor nutrition, lack of movement, unbalanced hormones, then you're dealing with a whole picture that would not allow you to feel good and to be able to fulfill what your purpose is in life and to be able to create that prosperity. And so many times you have to invest in your health. Maybe you have to go out and buy some supplements or join a membership at a gym or hire a personal trainer or buy the best food available at the supermarket, organic, making your food at home from scratch, ideally, best quality of water, all the things that are going to make you feel good throughout the day. So that is the first investment. If you are somebody who struggles with doing the things you have to do to self-care, to do the self-care, then you need extra support. There were times where I had either coaches or mentors or counselors that helped me through phases of my life where life seemed like too much. And talking to one person or having a person as a coach or a mentor made a world of a difference. So there's no shame in the game. If you need support, just make yourself a priority. Don't feel bad or wrong or greedy or selfish, or it shouldn't be, especially if you have that mommy guilt, that you can prioritize your self care and you cannot invest in prioritizing your self care and your health. That is super important. That's going to be a much better mom for everybody else, significant other, whoever else is expecting for us to be available. And so investing in your health, it says your energy is your greatest asset. Every healthy meal, workout, walk, and good night's sleep is an investment that pays dividends in every area of your life. And so making it a priority, don't feeling bad if you have to invest. When we invest, we want to think of having a return on the investment. So if you invest something, supplements, personal training, coach and mentors, whatever it is, time off, right? All those are investments. What is my return on the investment? How do I want to feel afterwards? What am I going to gain out of doing that? Maybe it's peace of mind. Maybe it's being relaxed. Maybe it's accomplishing a goal, getting to an outcome and being able to do it without failing. So sometimes we kind of try and we fail and we give up and we try and we fail and we give up. And it's a vicious cycle. So getting the support gives us that access to shortcuts, accountability, consistency, discipline, and ultimately it's a shortcut to results. And a lot of the things that I've been talking about is the ideal world of what we need to do to take care of ourselves. It's fairly simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. In our day to day life, we're busy. We have a lot going on, responsibilities. We're in many different places in one day. We have a lot going on. We're being bombarded with multi different, different forms of information, in online, the news, radio, all the things that are going on in social media. And so we're always bombarded and our nervous system is really overstimulated. So we need to be able to bring ourselves down to a space of regulating our nervous system. And we really need to unplug for all this overstimulation to gain clarity, or just slow down a little bit to be able to take control of our life, in the sense of we don't want to start spinning downwards. Negativity, conditioning, fear, limited beliefs, all these things bring us downward, right? So sometimes we have to slow our roll, take a little breath, slow down, assess where we are, make some changes, and really remain consistent, which takes much more than just understanding what you need to do. It's doing what you know to do and not procrastinating, not abandoning, and not sabotaging, all the things that we tend to do in reality, right? I'm a woman, I've been through all of them myself, completely understand, I can empathize, but truth of the matter is many times we leave ourselves behind, especially if you're a heart center woman that wants to make a difference and impact in the world. And we prioritize everybody else and everything else. We overextend ourselves, lose focus, get irritable, tired, exhausted. And many times we get to that burnout phase where we're like, I don't even know if I can do one more thing, and I don't know where to start to recover because it's all too much, right? So a lot of the women that I work with are middle-aged women that are on that little picture that I just painted, doing a lot, feeling behind, having lost themselves, the way they look, the way they feel, it's not optimal. They carry a lot of guilt and shame because they haven't done what they need to do. And in reality, it also feels selfish or wrong to even put energy into addressing those concerns, because it seems like everybody's always needing something and we have to provide and we have to be attentive of whoever needs what from us when. So we had to unplug for a little bit of that and learn to delegate some things, learn to not always be everywhere. We got to be, maybe share some responsibilities with significant others if you are the head of the family, along with significant other parents. And so being able to share responsibility versus the super mom, total, stereotype of a super mom or a superwoman. You might not be a mom, but you have your pets, you have your elderly parents, you have your job, you have your business, you have responsibilities you have going on. And many times we go into that role of superwoman, right? We got a lot going on, we're swinging it, we're able to do a lot of things, but truly when we sit down at night and we look ourselves in the mirror, or we sit down and read a book or write a journal or whatever it is, we realize how we've been going on this hustle mode, society that we are go, 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 no rest, no connection with ourselves, no joy, no fun, no this, no that. So I hope women to really find that sense of purpose, find their joy, find the connection with themselves, being able to enjoy their life, align with their purpose, and really through that we have to really make sure that health is taken care of. If your health is not optimal, if you're dealing with conditions, if you're overweight, if you lack energy, if you're irritable, not present, you have foggy brain, whatever it is that you're experiencing is not optimal health, then it's going to keep on pulling you back. It's going to keep on pulling you back to address those concerns. Maybe you suffer from insomnia, or you have other issues that 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 you need to address, that are important that you address before they get worse, or do you address them to eliminate them so they are not longer a concern. And so that was the case with me. I shared with you with pre-diabetes and the balance of the hormones. Both were things that I had to grapple with for a few months. For the diabetes, the diagnosis came, and 4 months later, I had recovered and gone back to non-diabetic, pre-diabetic status. That was a big win. And for the hormones, it took me about 8 months or 9 months to come to the place of feeling almost in my baseline, totally chill, relaxed, being able to sleep better, and have more energy when I'm awake. That is all based on the hormones being balanced. For many years, I didn't realize the impact. And I think 42, 43 years old is when I started having a lot of issues with insulin resistance and hormone based pre-diabetes and vitamin D being low. And that went for a few years until I feel like towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, I feel like I managed to have somewhat my self care and the well being, feeling good, having energy, sleeping well, waking up energized, ready to go, focused, not irritable, all those things that really matter for us to function. Then I was able to feel kind of like, okay, I settle now. I feel more balanced and in control. And it was 100% a function of balancing the hormones. So I encourage for anybody that's in middle age, from perimenopause all the way to menopause and even postmenopause, to be aware of where you are. And if you need any kind of support with hormone replacement therapies, balancing the hormones and all that stuff, you will get that support and will make a huge difference. This is one of the things that I do along with helping women minimize their body fat and accomplishing optimal health. But we'll go back to talk about how having optimal health is going to help you with fulfilling your purpose and creating the abundance that ultimately we want to experience in life. Having the choices that we want to make. It's not about being rich. It's about having options, right? Not being limited, not feeling the scarcity. So that's the second point that we're going to talk about. Second point for today is shift from scarcity to abundance. And I'm talking about the mindset, the way we see things, the way we appreciate, the way we live through things, right? We can have the abundance mindset, being grateful, appreciating, feeling, plenty and is available, not feeling like, oh, I don't have enough, and being in that place of scarcity is what we're talking about. So it says, instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what amazing opportunities are available to me? Your mindset shapes your reality. So scarcity mindset needs to always be worried about things, trying to control things, having really strong expectations, a high level of attachment. Many times it goes along with being disappointed that things didn't go the way we wanted to. Or you can be kind of more into the abundance and being grateful and appreciating and letting go of the attachment to the outcome, hands off a little bit, relax, release, exhale, and not being so uptight, because this tension when we're so uptight and we want to create something, and we're so committed to it, enthusiastic, this and that, can become too much energy, and it becomes like, okay, it needs to be this way or the highway. It needs to be absolutely successful, and that attachment makes it actually go the opposite way and fail. And so you have to trust, you have to detach from the outcome, you need to release a little bit of the breath and relax, trust that everything will work okay. Because when we hold on too tight, things go exactly the opposite way that we want to see them go. And so let's go into the third point for today. It's practicing daily gratitude. And it's not about sitting down with your journal and writing 10 bullets of what you're grateful for. It's being grateful. A very different thing, writing versus being, right? So we want to be grateful. We want to appreciate people. We want to take our time. We want to be compassionate. We want to say thank you for the blessings that we receive, the opportunities we encounter, the people that we meet, the support that we receive, the serendipitous connections we make with people, synchronicities that appear. So being grateful for everything, because there's nothing that's a coincidence in life. We always feel like, oh, what a coincidence. Truly, nothing is a coincidence. Sometimes things are meant to happen. And even if it feels like a detour or like you're holding yourself back or things are not working you want the way you wanted them and the way you visualized it for your future, that sometimes we have to step back, detach from it, surrender a little bit, humble ourselves up, let go of the attachment to the outcome that we want to see, and understand that sometimes it's slightly different, but nonetheless, it might even be better than what you picture it to be or project like you wanted it to see it. Okay. So detaching a little bit from the outcome, practicing daily gratitude. And it says abundance grows where gratitude flows. Take a few minutes each day to appreciate your health, your body, your relationships, and the opportunities already in your life. Basically, what I just said in different words, more concise and complete. So that is what we're going to do for the homework. We're going to go into the homework in just a little bit, but we have an affirmation for today. Affirmations are best applied when you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're able to see your eyes and you get to breathe a little bit and connect and settle your energy and then really connect with yourself in this moment that you state the affirmation. So we can do it here together, but I encourage you to write it down or go and copy it from the group later on when I put the homework and use the mirror to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and state this affirmation, looking at yourself in the mirror, believing in yourself and really slowing yourself down to connect because that's going to be much more effective than talking this stuff up in the air without even having a connection to what it means and with myself and the capacity I have to be able to create and manifest them. Okay. So the affirmation for today is I am worthy of vibrant health, abundant energy, and limitless prosperity. I'm worthy of vibrant health, abundant energy, and limitless prosperity. I choose abundance in my thoughts, my actions, and my life. And so that's the affirmation for today. I always invite you to write it down, to take a screenshot, to post it in the homework, wherever you need to put it so that you can remember it. And this is like a mantra that we say over and over and repeat so that you can almost reprogram your subconscious mind to believe in this statement, that affirmation, that declaration, that decision. Yeah. And when we speak, we're projecting our body, our image, our imagination, our reality to the future. So when we speak, it's important that we intone, kind of use our voice as power and we declare whatever we want to accomplish with decisiveness, clarity, power, assertiveness, believing it. And so if you're able to do it in front of the mirror and doing the affirmations there is the best way to reap the most benefit from that particular affirmation. And so we're going to go into the homework for today. We only have a few more minutes. I don't want to make it too long. Sorry, I just hit something here today. I'm like clumsy today. It's like an interesting, energetic day for sure. The homework for today, day 18, is take 10 minutes, quiet minutes, right? Maybe you sit by the window, put your favorite music, prepare tea, whatever it is that you want to do, just to take 10 minutes to chill with yourself, right? And reflect first, and then write the answer to this question. Question number one is, what areas of my life already reflect abundance? What are the areas in your life where you already reflect abundance? Maybe you're somebody who's always been generous, and even if you don't have a lot, you're able to give. Maybe you're somebody who is detached from, having the money and can spend it trusting that it'll come back. Whatever it is that you feel that um, you already reflect in a sense of abundance. It's important to notice where we're being abundant. Our mindset is that way. Experiencing that and tell me what it is. I would love to hear or read in the homework thread when I share it in the group. Second question is, where am I still thinking from scarcity, meaning conditioned self or authentic self, coming from faith or coming from fear? If I'm in fear, I'm in my conditioning. I'm trying to force outcomes. I'm withdrawing. I'm upset. I'm disappointed. I'm fearful and I'm uncertain. I'm confused. I'm overwhelmed. All those things. Conditioning is the spiral going for outcomes or results. It's going to be kind of spinning in wheels in the mud, vicious cycle. Authentic self, on the contrary, is where you operate from faith, when you believe in yourself, right? You have confidence, you stay the course, you lead yourself into being consistent, being committed, being um, you know, kind of doing the things that you need to do, and you're leading yourself to do that because you are in your authentic self. You're connected with your who you are. You're connected with your goals, your dreams, your desires, and you operate from that raw, vulnerable place, which is our authentic self. Sometimes we put the mask and we pretend and we ask or do things, and we're not being really authentic. When we lift the veil, when we lift the mask, then in our authentic self, what we are is our soul, our desire, our dreams, our purpose, our heart, and our mission. And so it's important that we operate from the authentic self because that's where everything of value is created. The conditioning is contracting, the authentic self is expansive. When we're expanding, we feel good, we trust ourselves, we enjoy life, we're relaxed, we're chilling. When we're in the conditioning, fear, contracting is gloom and doom, and we are always in fear, retraction, hesitation, sabotage, whatever it is that shows up when you are in your conditioning. So, um, where am I still operating from that scarcity or fear? Both of them part or a way of operating from the conditioned self. And we want to go back into alignment with the authentic self, with your faith, with your gifts, with your dreams, with your desires, your self confidence, your commitment, leading yourself into the next phase of your life. That is what we want to get to. So the last question that we have is, what is one investment I can make this week in my health, personal growth, or future that my future self will thank me for? I don't know what that is for you, but for me, this is a priority. I just became a member of a gym that's 24 hours and it has the sauna because those are things that are important to me, having access to that. And although I can do a workout from home, then just having to take a break and go to the gym and know that I can do my workout and going for the sauna afterward just changes the day. Also somebody who invests on supplements on a regular basis. I also have a coach that I've been working with for many, many years and continue to work with. I love working with a coach. She helps me in my business, but also in my personal life. Many times I had counselors or mentors that help me with it. So what is it for you that you do for self-care, for yourself, for your health, to treat yourself, to pamper yourself, to do that ultimate self-care that's required for us to feel good and to have that quality of life that will bring us to longevity with quality of life. We don't want to live long, crappy life. We want to live long with quality of life. And that takes a lot of prevention and managing, being able to prevent and manage conditions before we go into not being healthy and having to take medication. Medication is like a treadmill of side effects. And my parents own a pharmacy. I know personal hand, like how people came for this medication and this the other medication that they needed for the side effects of the first one, and then the second one has some side effects, so they had to use a third one, and so on and so on and so on. If you live in America, you know how that is. I don't have to explain it to you, but that is the state of affairs. And as educated women that we are, we really need to take control and take action to prevent all these conditions that show up that are not a function of aging. They're a function of lack of self-care, unregulated nervous systems, unbalanced hormones, poor nutrition, poor sleep, lack of movement, lack of self-care altogether, right? And so we want to address one thing at a time. Let me see if there's anything else from the homework. Yeah, there's one thing, one more thing. It says, finally, share one word in your homework thread that represents the abundant life you are creating. Examples of that, and you can come up with your own. You don't have to use these examples. Of course, you can come up with whatever you desire. The examples that I give you for you to grab on, one, if you don't come up with something, is abundance, prosperity, freedom, gratitude, growth, wealth, and overflow. And you can come up with as many as you would like in addition to that. But I request or recommend that you use just one word. Yeah. So, yeah, I think my word would be confidence, like confidence that this this training will reach the right people, confidence that this will make a difference, confidence that everything that I share will be used for the best of, the outcomes, confidence that I can do this, confidence that, being seen is safe, all the confidence things that I need to keep on reassuring myself. So what is it for you? Share it in the homework thread. And I've been looking at who's been participating in the homework, and I think that we have gotten a little bit behind with the training and the homework. I recommend that you finish the homework. Number one, you can pat yourself in the back. You can have that sense of accomplishment. You don't have to rush. I know that some of you gave me feedback that it was a lot of material, a lot of things that we've done, covered, discussed, implemented. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed, but really take action, and then a little bit of action, and then a little bit of consistency, a little bit of commitment. Before you know it, you have your first win, then you celebrate, and then momentum, synergy, more results, better confidence, all these things that create that synergy that we need to transform. A lot of you are going to be stuck after the training finishes if you don't put something in place that will hold you accountable, that will support you, assist you, inspire you, hold your hand, give you the way, all the things that we need as women, because we're very resourceful and very empowered, but sometimes we just don't know where to start, how to do it. We don't know how to be consistent. We don't know how to hold ourselves accountable. We don't know how not to give up. And so having a group of people that does things together is key. We have the program starting next week. So if you're interested, reach out to me. Let me know if you have questions, comments, anything you want to share with me about that. And we can also book a time to talk about it, right? If you have issues with schedule, finances, you have to create the opportunity, you have questions about anything in the program, anything about how I coach, we can have a conversation without any obligation or commitment. And I'll be happy to work with you. Look at what you're dealing with and in what ways this could make a difference. What I know for a fact is you investing in yourself always makes a difference. You taking time to review your life and look at the areas that you can improve, to adapt, to move forward with action. It's always key, and it's always something that is going to be valuable. It can propel you forward. It can create a new reality. It can get you unstuck. It can get you to remove yourself from things that no longer work or don't create value, to be able to create a life anew. And so that basically is everything that I've shared up until now. And we're going to continue 2 more days, and then we're going to have the grand finale in Zoom. So if you haven't done your homework, I invite you to do the homework. I will do a raffle for 2 sessions tomorrow. Check your messages. If you're here and you hear me, I message you every single day. Some of you I cannot message because you're not friends with me in Facebook. So I cannot message you. But if you want to message me, then I can respond. So Facebook is blocking attempts to contact people that are not friends on Facebook. Other than that, this training will be available until next week. By the end of the week, I'll be contacting you, following up. Let me know if you have questions or anything you want to share. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Let me drink a little water. At 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 11 a.m. Before I choke, I wanted to say 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be live again. Okay. And I'm done. Thank you. Good night.